Now, Millwall Football Club say they may be forced to leave London and relocate to Kent if a controversial scheme gets the green light. Lewisham Council will decide next week whether the plans to compulsorily purchase areas around the Den will get the go-ahead. Reya El-Salahi joins us live from the stadium in Bermondsey. You can tell us more. Reya.
Good evening. I'm joining you in the reception area of this South East London Stadium's home ground. It's been based here for almost a quarter of a century, and the Lions, the emblem which you can see behind me, have been based playing in the borough of Lewisham for almost a century. But that could all be set to change if these plans by the local authority get the go-ahead. They want to purchase the land surrounding the Den and redevelop it by selling it off to an overseas developer. That's something that is being fought by not just the club but also football fans here in South East London. I'm joined this evening by Steve Kavanagh, the Chief Exec of Millwall. Steve, tell us initially your thoughts. If this gets the go-ahead, gets the green light, and you end up having to move perhaps out of London, what will that mean for fans?
What we've said is that in the event that the CPO is confirmed, then we have to consider every option. And I was asked the question if that would have meant would we consider relocating, and the answer is we would have to consider everything. So yes, we would have to consider that, and that would have implication for fans and more importantly for the borough and for the community in which we've lived since 1910.
It's an unthinkable prospect for many Millwall fans, having to travel outside of Lewisham to watch their team play. How realistic is it that that could happen?
Look, I'm not ruling anything in, I'm not ruling anything out. We are extremely concerned by the process that's taking place, and if this carries on and if this is confirmed next Wednesday, then we will start plans to look at whether it is viable for us to stay here or whether we should consider a life elsewhere after all the time we've been here.
Is there a life elsewhere for Millwall outside of Lewisham? You've been playing in the borough since 1910, based here since 1993, I think, 1994, I think I'm right in saying. So could you realistically be based elsewhere and still have the support you currently get?
The chairman said it's always unthinkable, and I think he said that 7 years ago. But we're left in a position where we have to think the unthinkable. Of course it's viable, absolutely it's viable. Do we want to do it? No, but we want to have control and input into what is happening around us and to be a partner in this regeneration and ensure that we are an important part of that, as the council says we are.
Talking of the regeneration, we're speaking to you here in Bermondsey in the reception area of the football club, a ground that will be safe. However, just outside the doors behind us, a 6-step walk at the very most. It could look very different if this plan gets the go-ahead. What would it mean?
Absolutely. From outside of the ground, we're not in control of that. Access and egress into the stadium would become an issue for us. It's an issue on a match day for any football club, and for us especially. Not having control of what is actually on our doorstep and what revenue streams are there, and not having an engagement of those will be important, because without those, is the club commercially viable here when we're shoehorned into a corner?
Lewisham Council, however, argues that the ground around the stadium is underused and in desperate need of redevelopment. Is that true?
We absolutely welcome regeneration of this area. The area absolutely needs that, and we are fully behind that. We want that to happen. It's a vital area for regeneration. It's crying out for it. All we ask is that we are a partner in that. We're not asking to own it, we're asking to be a partner and to be vitally important and properly consulted and to be worked with to ensure that what goes on out there we can control on a match day.
Next week you meet with the Lewisham Council committee to discuss this further. What happens there?
Well, the meeting next week, as I understand it, is to reconfirm the CPO. And if the compulsory purchase order is reconfirmed, then we go to the next stage and we probably end up in a public inquiry. So what we're doing at the moment, we are asking those councillors to seriously consider whether this is in the public interest and to consider our views. There are a number of issues that have been brought to light by myself since the last meeting. I provided all that documentation, and I want them to come and talk to me and understand those to make sure that the decision they make is the correct one.
And just finally, what does this mean to football fans? What have Millwall fans been telling you about this?
Millwall fans are extremely concerned and upset that their club's being treated in this way. We're a community asset. We are part of this community. We're a vital piece of everyone's livelihood around here. Young children come and play football. They're aspired to play football, which brings them into a better life standard and a better living. Our community trust deliver over £7 million worth of benefits to the local borough. We want all that to continue and to develop and to grow that. What we don't want to be doing is doing that in a situation where we feel that we're being unfairly treated.
Just to pick up on that point, if this plan goes ahead, does it have implications for young people wanting to get into the footballing world living in Lewisham?
Well, one of the key issues and the reason the meeting was adjourned was around our academy and the academy infrastructure. The academy infrastructure, we're being told, can move just across the road into a new facility. That's not the case. That can't happen under the EFL rules. That's not the situation. I've presented that to the council. They haven't come back and commented that or asked me any questions about that, but that is absolutely the case, and that's been confirmed by the EFL themselves.
Steve, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Steve Kavanagh, the Chief Exec of Millwall Football Club. Now, we have been in touch with Lewisham Council this evening. Here's what they've told London Live News. They say that the area around the stadium is currently a rundown, underused site that needs to work much better for the borough. Lewisham Council is very supportive of Millwall Football Club and has consistently said that its ability to operate the stadium must and will be protected. The planning permission and related planning agreements provide benefits for the club valued at around £7 million. And just to give you an idea of what this regeneration would look like, they argue that it would deliver almost 2,500 new homes, a new overground station in this part of South East London with sports facilities alongside 1,500 new jobs. This decision is expected to take the next step forward, perhaps on Wednesday or not, as the case may be, something we'll cover on London Live News, so do stay with us for that.
Indeed, Reya El-Salahi at the Den for us this evening. Now,